제 이름은 예나예요. 안녕하세요. Korean. Why learn it? How useful is it going to be? What do I want to use it for? The first time I started learning Korean was, I think, 2012, 2013. What happened was I'd been living in Australia for a few months and I'd been sharing a room with a girl from China, a girl from Japan, and a girl from Korea. Yes, 4 of us in a room on bunk beds was definitely interesting. And this was the first time I'd really come across Korean culture. I was very interested in Asian culture quite broadly. I was born in Hong Kong, I lived there for 6 years, and I'd been watching Japanese movies, watching a bit of anime, reading some manga, so I planned at the time to try and learn Japanese. Until I met Jian. Jian was my Korean roommate, and she introduced me to K-pop, K-dramas, Korean food, and she taught us some of the dance to Sorry Sorry by Super Junior. And she had me watch Coffee Prince first, which I've seen about 4 times all the way through since. And she cooked tteokbokki for us one evening, and that's when I really shifted my interest from Japan to Korea. In 2012, I moved from Australia to America and worked at a university in their study abroad department. So about a third of the students who came to study there were from Korea, and getting to know a few of them, I started to dabble a little more in learning the language. And it wasn't serious learning by any means, I wasn't like dedicating hours, but it was a growing interest. And after a few years I decided to go and teach English in Korea, so I thought I'd get some actual language lessons. So I booked into intensive Korean, which meant an hour every day through the university. The lessons were taught by my Songsaengnim, my teacher, and the lessons were purely in Korean, which was such a learning curve. I took those lessons for a semester and I really could have done more to study, so I wish I'd taken more of an advantage of that. Although I got placed to go teach English in Korea, I actually couldn't go in the end, so I moved back to England and I just stopped learning for a long time altogether. I wasn't really listening to K-pop anymore, I was dipping in and out of watching K-dramas too. But last year I got back into K-dramas specifically in a really big way. I got the Viki app subscription, I've been binge watching all of these shows and picking up some of the language again through the K-dramas. I watched them entirely with subtitles though, of course, so after a while that really began to frustrate me because I'm just reading the subtitles instead of watching the action on screen. So sometimes I'd have to rewind bits just so that I could see what was happening on the screen after I'd read what they'd said. So the reason I want to learn Korean is because I want to be able to watch K-dramas without having to rely so massively on the subtitles themselves. And also one day I'd like to go to Korea and be able to communicate in a meaningful way. So the reason I started this channel was because I don't actually know anybody Korean anymore who lives in the same place I do in London. So I've got no one to ask questions to, there's no community around me, except for one of my friends is learning Korean, but at my level, so I can't really ask her anything. I started learning Korean again 5 months ago using an app, so I do it 1 hour every day on my commute to work. And this month I found it really quite difficult and I was seriously slacking. So I'm hoping that through this channel I can build up a bit of a community to help me stay motivated and keep on track. So please do subscribe, there's going to be a lot going on with this channel and I'd love it if people wanted to learn alongside me or to discuss Korean entertainment with me or just correct me and give me feedback when I have questions, all that good stuff. 고마워요. 안녕!